Every car owner has that one spot that's always wet, rusty, and smells like regret. And no, it's not what you're thinking. It's the place where the spare tire lives. If your car's been around for a while and no one's touched that area in years, best case, you'll find a small swamp. Worst case, someone's already living there rent-free and commuting with you. Hey everyone, welcome to Big Hammer Energy. Our motto is simple: if you can't fix it properly, fix it with a hammer and some blue electrical tape. All right, let's get to work. We'll tear out everything in the way and see what's going on under the spare tire. Looks like things aren't too bad. The rust hasn't eaten through the metal yet, the rubber drain plug fell off, but we'll survive without any welding today. Grab a screwdriver, a knife, or whatever feels right in your hand, and start scraping off the old sound-deadening mat. If it peels off easily, congrats, it's useless now. Straight to the trash. Some parts are still sticking to the painted metal. That means rust hasn't started there yet, so they're tougher to remove. Quick nerd moment. Most automotive sound insulation is made of bitumen. Bitumen's weird. Technically a liquid that just moves really slowly. A professor from Queensland University proved it back in 1927. He poured bitumen into a funnel and waited for it to drip. The first drop fell 8 years later. They kept the experiment going after he died. Turns out it drips once every 9 years. The project even won an Ig Nobel Prize. That's like a parody of the Nobel, but still a legit award. So yeah, science can be slow and funny at the same time. Back to our patient. Well, it's time to call in our friend, the heat gun. Use the heat gun on low power mode, warm the surface evenly, but don't overheat it. Otherwise that sticky mess will bond to the metal forever. Once it softens up, it peels off like butter. Honestly, this stuff's starting to annoy me. Real clingy personality. Now let's clean up the rust flakes and old paint. Vacuum everything carefully so we can see what still needs work. You can use a drill with a wire brush, but I kept it light this time. I'll explain why later. Vacuum again, go over the edges with a small metal brush, especially those hard-to-reach corners. Next, the most important part, neutralizing the rust. Wipe everything dry and clean. Brake or carb cleaner works great for this. Then heat dry it with the heat gun. This time full power's fine. Just please never leave the heat gun unattended. My buddy once left his heat gun on the back seat to grab a screwdriver. Turned around 2 seconds later, the seat was on fire. He saved the garage and the house, but not the car. So yeah, keep your eyes on that thing. Once it's dry, we're ready for rust conversion process. There are hundreds of magic rust converters on the market, in shops like Home Depot, auto shops, even professional ones, all claiming to stop rust, prime, and paint in one step. Spoiler alert, none of them work long term. After a year, rust comes right back under that fancy coating. Now grab your rust converter, my favorite tool after the hammer. Apply it evenly with a small brush, avoid drips or puddles. They'll just dry forever. You'll see it start working right away. Rust turns black. The chemical reaction is kicking in. Like someone once said, the bearing of a child takes 9 months no matter how many women are assigned. In other words, don't rush chemistry. Let it sit for about 5 to 6 hours. From my experience, the only reliable method is applying rust converter, aero prime, and paint separately, with drying and inspection between each layer. Sure, it's slower and a bit pricier, but I'd rather spend extra time now than fix the same spot again in a year. I've got cars that stayed clean for 6 years with zero rust using this method. That's a win in my book. After 5 to 6 hours, inspect the surface. If some spots didn't turn fully black or you still see some rust spots, apply another thin coat and wait 4 more hours. Remember earlier when I said you can use a drill with a wire brush to remove rust, but I only used it a little? Well, here's why. That method actually cleans the metal too well. It removes all the rust, and now there's nothing left for the converter to react with. As you can see in the video, the rust converter didn't work at all on the shiny spots. It needs rust to do its job. No rust, no reaction. Simple chemistry, my friends. When everything's dark and solid, we're ready for the top coat. Remember, rust converter is not a final protective layer no matter what the marketing says. You always need paint on top. I usually go with a quick drying black metal paint. Doesn't smell much, and in a few days the car's interior smells normal again. Leave the windows cracked overnight, or even let the car with open trunk sunbathe a bit. Dries twice as fast. Finally, reinstall the drain plug. I didn't have the original one, so I found a perfect fit and sealed it with gray sealant. This plug drains any water that might collect here, usually from a leaky trunk seal. Usually it's not sealed and can be removed anytime, but I trust my seals, so no worries unless I fully sink the car underwater. And that's it. The job's done. No more swamp and rust under the spare tire. We've got clean and rust-free spare tire, well, and a happy car. This spot's good for another 5 to 6 years. No rust, no life forms evolving inside. Next time, we'll redo the sound insulation, but that's a story for another video. I also wanted to show you what happens when you don't prep the surface properly before applying the rust converter. See this section here? I left it on purpose, didn't bother sanding off the old paint or rust, just slapped the converter right on top. And look what happened. The rust didn't change color, no chemical reaction started, which means it's still quietly doing its thing. In other words, this spot is basically a future hole. Give it a couple of years and you'll have free air conditioning in your trunk. And that's it for today's episode of Big Hammer Energy. If you made it this far, but you've officially earned your honorary hammer. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We've got plenty more projects coming up. I'll show you how to fix your car, build cool stuff, and keep it all budget-friendly, without losing your sanity or your wallet. See you next time, and remember, when in doubt, bring the hammer.